As promised, I told you I was going to take you on a quick tour of some of the things in my kitchen that I think are different than you might have in your kitchen. So one of the things that I have done with my knives to keep them out of the drawer is I've put up a metal or a magnetic holder for them. So instead of having them down in my drawer where you could possibly cut yourself with them, I have them hanging up safely on the wall in the exact same spot where I prepare my food. So on this counter, you would always see my cutting board, which is a plastic cutting board, just like I showed you in class, and the knives, and anything sharp that I use in my kitchen tends to be in this part of my kitchen. Now you'll also notice that I have my paper towels and a basket of towels there. That's because I don't use paper towels as much as I do kitchen towels for cleanup. I've been in this house about 2 years and I've only used 5 rolls of paper towels. So I have a lot of those cloth towels and I use them on a fairly regular basis. What you're going to see next is the drawer that's directly below where my knife station is. The reason it's directly below there is because that is where I have things like my graters or my food movers, which are on the top right-hand side, which also have a little bit of a sharp edge. You're going to notice that my silverware is in graduated containers. That's so it doesn't take up the entire drawer in order to keep them in one place. To the left of this station is my kitchen table. That's why my silverware is there. That way I can keep it in a place that is closest to where I'm going to use the items. That is also true of my plates and my cups. So anything that I use on my kitchen table is stored all in this one section. So that way, everything is easy, convenient, and ready to be used. I don't have a big kitchen. I live in a townhouse, but I've used all the spaces available as efficiently as I can. Now you'll notice we've come over to what I call my baking station. So a wood cutting board is what's used when you knead bread. Notice how thick that board is. Most of you would not need a board that thick, but remember, I'm really tall. So when I make bread and I have to push down on that dough, I need a counter or I need a piece of wood that's taller. But notice again, I've used that same magnetic strip, and this time, instead of knives, what I've added to that are measuring cups. Now they're turned backwards because they are hooked onto the metal strip. Also notice that my cookbook stand is right there and ready for a recipe. It also can hold my tablet because I have most of my recipes electronic now. And then right at grasp is a basket with my spoons and my rubber scrapers in it. And then of course, my lucky old KitchenAid. I've had that KitchenAid a long time, and that thing has been through a lot of cookies for my family. Now this is a trick a lot of people don't know about, and that's to simply take the command hooks and put them on the inside of your cabinet. By putting them on the inside of your cabinet, you can hang a pair of scissors to open a package for something like a cake mix, but you can also hang those blades that go to the KitchenAid that always seem to get in the way. On the bottom left is also a set of measuring spoons. I know they're a little blocked by some of the other things I have hanging there, but they're measuring spoons. And they're hanging there because right next to that, you're going to see that I have all of my baking spices and also my leaveners. So that's my baking soda and my baking powder. In this cabinet, I also keep a set of measuring cups for things like shortening. But also notice as I move my way across this cabinet, some of the labels are peeling off, but everything that I keep in this cabinet is labeled. So my confectionery, my baking sugar, my flour, and my sugar are all in one place and labeled. That way, when I want to use them, I know that they are in a convenient place and that I can reach without having to move too far. Now I do the same thing as I do for my baking, but I do that on the other side of my kitchen. So let me show you the other side of my kitchen. So on this side of the kitchen, just like we have back at school, I have a microwave and I have a stove. Mine is a freestanding stove, which means that it's on the floor. It's not up in the wall. So to the right of that cabinet, what I have is, again, another basket. But this basket only has the tools that can be used with hot surfaces. So any rubber scraper or any lifter that's in there is able to stand 450 degrees of heat or more. Now that pretty cabinet, little drawers that you see there, they have just some spices and herbs in it that I use on a fairly regular basis, and then a couple of giraffes that some friends have given me. But this is what most people don't do. I'm going to pan back for a minute. Most people have a cabinet for their olive oil and things like that, but notice this cabinet, just like the baking cabinet, has some spices and herbs in it. That's right next to the stove. So that allows me to not have to walk too far or move around my kitchen to get the things I need. And again, command hooks on the back of the door allow me to have a pair of scissors and a set of measuring spoons at hand at all times. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this short tour of my kitchen, and I hope you understand some of the reasons that I have things where I do. What I'm going to want you to do now is go into your kitchen and take a look at your setup. Do you have things where your parents use them, or you use them if you like to cook? If they're not, then think about your kitchen. Is there some place that you should put something that you use on a regular basis, like measuring spoons on the back of a cabinet? They're relatively inexpensive. You can get measuring spoons at the dollar store, and you can get the command hooks there as well. I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just saying it makes for nice efficiency to have everything in one place to measure. I hope you've enjoyed this trip, and I look forward to seeing you back in class.